Hey guys, there's no doubt about the fact that this router looks great, but is it worth buying or not? Let's look at a quick setup, features, and specifications this router has in this video. So the number one issue I had in my house was coverage and latency. Because I have a 2,500 square feet and above house, I had to have a router that could communicate all over. And then when you look at a router, you're like, okay, I have 9 devices, 10 devices. But when you have a connected home with smart home devices, I think I even have a smart device in my bathroom. Maybe not. But when you have smart devices everywhere, you have to be able to communicate. Multiple streams are coming into the wireless router, and it has to handle all of those streams of data. So this router is able to handle it. Now let's take a look at the physical characteristics of this router before we go forward. You can see that this router has 4 antennas on top, and those 4 antennas are used to wirelessly transmit a 2.4 gig signal or a 5 gig signal. The really good thing about this is that you can combine the 2.4 and 5 gigs all into one band. So the SSID is just one SSID, and it recognizes itself as both 2.4 and 5 gig. So that's great. You don't have multiple channels where you have to connect to a 2.4 or 5 gig. So then you can see it has this button on top. What this button does is whenever you press this button, it changes the modes for the lighting in front of it. And that's a little feature. And I'm going to cycle through a few of these. But you can also do it in the app, and you can change the lighting scheme that way too. Now let's take a look at the back. On the back you can see, and I'm going to disconnect this while we're looking at it. Okay. So you should be able to see in the back, we have 4 ports, 4 internet ports. 1 port is dedicated to gaming, dedicated to 1 gig only. So if you're looking for something like 10 gig, that will not be possible with this, but 1 gig is possible. And then on the right, you have a WAN port. And then on the left, you have a USB and a power on and off feature. Now, when you first get this router, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and hit the reset button. And after you hit the reset button, what you're going to do is you're going to open up your app and you're going to plug right into it, and you'll be able to set it up. But that's what it is. If you look at it, it's really sleek. It sort of looks like a spaceship. When my wife first looked at it, she was like, it really does look like a spaceship. But here you can see the antennas on the side. You can have them like this. I wish I had a feature where you could lay it like this or put it up like this and do it. I'm sure you could make a stand for it or 3D print it if you wanted. It would look pretty sleek, but then you would lose out on the lighting and stuff. So these antennas do not separate. They're mounted, so you can't take them off. Other than that, I really like the look and feel. It looks very aerodynamic, and it looks really great. So I'm going to push the antennas back up. And let's take a look at the app really quick, because the app is something that is really going to help you guys out. It's called the ASUS app. And once you're at the home, you can see. Okay, let's take a look at this app really quick. When you go to the ASUS app, you can go into the Aura RGB. And what you can do is you have different modes right here for the lighting. And that's probably my favorite part, the lighting. But you have a breathing, and you can see while I change it, how it's changing wave. You have that, and that's basically a ripple, a blue ripple. That's all you can do. You have the marquee, and you can change that on different colors. So it has the different color combinations. I like to keep it green. You can also keep it red. The thing is, whenever there's an error, it shows red. So it's better to keep it another color. There's a gradient, there's a static color. And then you can change that to different colors here in the app. Evolution, that's another one. You might be seeing through my camera that there's a little bit of a flicker, but in real life there's not. And the last one is a rainbow option. Now I know some people don't want to have the light. If you don't want to have the light, you can just turn it off from here, and it turns off or on as you want. So there are different features for that. The one thing about this ASUS router is it supports Wi-Fi 6. Which is 802.11ax. Now, Wi-Fi 6E is something that's being talked about, and right now it's 2022, and we're going to expect Wi-Fi 7 around 2024. That's when it's going to come out, and the associated products are going to launch at that time. So for the meantime, I think having a Wi-Fi 6 router is going to be key. Wi-Fi 6E might be something where, products come in time, supplier issues and stuff like that. So people might skip Wi-Fi 6E altogether and go to Wi-Fi 7. That's why I think it's still worth buying at this point, because it holds a lot of features and specifications that you can still use today. You look at your new iPhones, your new Samsung phones, and they all have 802.11ax, which means that they're rated for Wi-Fi 6, but they're not rated for Wi-Fi 6E or Wi-Fi 7 yet. So for the meantime, this is something that I think is a good investment, even 2023 and 24 and beyond. There's options for family. You can set up different access for, different age groups. That's a really big feature to have. So what I'm going to show you right now is how do you set up this router from scratch. How you do that is, let's go ahead and set it up from scratch because I want you guys to know how to do that. So what you're going to do is, on the back of the router, what you're going to do is, there's this little reset button right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little pen and I'm going to click it for about 5 or 6 seconds. So now that you've reset the router, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your Wi-Fi connections, click ASUS 80 and do quick internet setup. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. It tells you you have all of these options. I'm going to go ahead and select the first one. So it's searching for my router. There we go. It said it found the AX82U and it's detecting the internet connection status. So now in the beginning, it wants you to set up your Wi-Fi network name. And there you go. It's all set up. Now go into diagnostics. You have a network diagnostics where you can see that the light is green and it's telling you that everything is working okay. So that's a good tool to look at. Traffic statistics, that's pretty cool. You can look at the different devices connected and it'll tell you on the 2.4 gigs band and 5 gig band what the current download traffic is, what the current upload traffic is, and whether you're hitting your limits or not. So that's a pretty cool feature to have. Parental controls is a really good thing. If your kids keep using the internet and you want to restrict them, you can do time scheduling. It's really important. I limit my kids' screen time to 1 hour a day, and I think it's a good thing to keep in mind. The less screen time they use, I've seen actually the more happy they are. Then you have the gaming options too. The mobile gaming mode is pretty cool. So if I'm playing a game over here and I want, the best speed possible, if I go ahead and click go, see, right now it's doing something where all the dedicated traffic is going to be on my cell phone. And see, it has a timer right here too. So my phone will be the strongest phone in the house. I'm going to go ahead and hit stop. Okay, so this connect with the smart assistant, whether it be Alexa or Google, is really cool. You can ask Alexa or Google to turn the internet off, or you can ask it to activate guest mode. That's really useful too. But there are different options here. But yeah, I just wanted to show you really quick the top level options. You can go into the details of what the other options are. You can set it up in bridge mode, mesh mode. You can set it up in repeater mode. So there are so many different options that you can use. There are network tools built in here too, Wake on LAN and stuff. And it is capable of up to 4,800 megabits per second on a 5 gig connection. But if you operate it at 2.4 gigs, it's only capable of around 600 megabits per second. So it is limited to the speed on the 2.4 gigs band. But if you have a half gig connection like I do, this router is a really good option, even if you have a gig connection also. Guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like the production quality and the quality of this video, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more.